5 minutes per speaker. Hearing none, we'll move on to Honorable Ward Webster, Chief Judge of the Circuit Court.
We have, I think, 3 or 4 different things today we need to bring up. Most of them involve the circuit court and the friend of the court, and one involves district court. First off, as you all know, the friend of the court, Susan Dorman, left. And it's all completely done, wrapped up, and we are required by law to have a friend of the court. We have hired a friend of the court. She started Monday, and we're going to introduce you. She walked through the door. Christy Bray.
Hi.
She's second day on the job.
Name again?
Christy Bray. She comes from having worked in front of the court in Macomb County, in Bay County, in Saginaw County. She has extensive experience, and she's been involved in a reorganization of the front of the court in the past, which brings up the second issue. The friend of the court, Judge Strzok was here for 30 years. He was a good judge, he did a good job, but there were a few changes made, and after 30 years, Judge Stewart believes, and I believe also, that we need to make some changes at the front of the court. Some changes in how things are processed, what people do, and we believe that our front of the court can be more efficient and serve our citizens better with some changes. We're not asking for any money. We just want to make some changes where some people may have different job titles, may do different things. We purposely did not replace the person who retired because of health issues late in the year, so we have money to make some changes. I think it's important. Even Judge Ostracco, as he left, said, to Judge Stewart, I'm sure you have some changes, and maybe after 30 years there should be some changes. So we just, again, that will be Judge Stewart's baby, so to speak, not mine, but, and again, we're not asking any more money, we just want to make changes. The structure of the friend of the court is still set up in a sense before computers, where staff people typed orders and it took ages for the type them and so on. And now an enforcement officer can go to his or her computer, pull up a screen, type in a few words, and pop out an order. And you don't need staff people. You don't need as much secretarial staff, and we would like to have more on enforcement in, more on mediation, more on the solving problems, and less on the actual support staff. I'm not looking to fire anybody, lay anybody off, we just want to make some changes. As far as district court, we had a probation secretary left, and we'd like to replace her. Again, it's in our budget. We've already gotten rid of the number of probation officers, we're pretty short down there, so we want to go ahead and replace that person. And then, lastly, Judge Stewart, when I'll introduce it, but he can tell more about it. When Judge Stewart got going last year, it came to his attention that he was going to run out of money in the fund that paid for one of the staff people on the 3rd floor. And to make certain that we didn't go over budget, he and that person left. We didn't replace that person, and ultimately replaced that person with a part-timer. Some of them didn't get benefits, some of them didn't work 40 hours, and so the budget balanced. Judge Stewart wants to start using that person on some of the work for the drug grant and pay for that out of the drug grant money. That's why we have the drug grant money. We need people to do the work, and he'll explain to you how he wants to do that. But I think that's everything I have. You want to talk about the Brenda?
I love talking about the drug court.
Well, folks, good afternoon, everybody. I was in front of you, I think it was in July, and asked for permission to bring on Brenda Polk, who in an intern capacity to do various duties throughout the circuit court as needed. She's proven quite valuable, and in fact, she has experience in setting up and administering drug courts. In fact, I've handed you a pamphlet. Now, that's a draft. It's going to look nicer when it's colored and it's tweaked up, but she created that. And we're going to hand that to local businesses, business leaders in the community to hope that they'll get our attention, and they'll give participants in our drug court an opportunity for employment, for volunteer service, something to give them some self-worth, which is contained within one of the phases of our budding drug court. We expect to start accepting participants. Our launch date is April 1st. We need a program manager. And Ms. Polk, our intern, has been interviewing for that position since July, and she's passed with flying colors. She understands how to manage the grant. She understands the media aspect of it and the marketing, and she's really an asset to our community. And as Judge Clarkson said, it's fully funded through the grant, so it's no pennies out of our pocket. And what we'd like to do is bring her on to continue in her capacity as an intern in circuit court to do the various duties she's been assigned, which she's done fabulously, and then give her a secondary duty funded through the grant to be the grant manager and the administrator, which in effect would make her a full-time position. So then the question arises, what do we do about contracts? The other employees are protected and they're represented. Well, we've got to call into our attorney, Bonnie Toski, and we're gonna create a different contract for Ms. Polk that wouldn't give her, she would have medical benefits, but she wouldn't have the 12 weeks off and the 30 days and all that business. She'll be given 2 weeks off a year and then the sick time just like everybody else, and that's it. So it'll be a scaled down version of what most other employees in the county enjoy. So again, it doesn't cost us any money. It's funded by the grant, and things are going so well, I anticipate that we'll get a larger grant next year for this program. And I hope I get the commissioners on board in this program, because I'm really excited about it. Drugs in this community are at an emergency level. It's become toxic, and we got to do something. We got to do something. I'll certainly answer any questions if you have any. Commissioner Barks?
If she comes on full-time, then you'll be replacing her position now, or no?
Replacing, we would not replace.
You got her as an interim part-time.
Yes.
She would be coming on full-time through this grant, and you'd have money to bring another person on, or that all?
The grant would fully fund her, and that's it.
Okay, but what about the money?
We would continue.
Part-time money from the girl that
Good
retired
question.
and all that.
We would continue to fund her part-time, and then the grant would subsidize the balance of her salary.
Okay, I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, and what's coming next, when we get the larger money grant next year, we're going to be able to fully fund a Michigan Department of Corrections agent full-time in the courthouse. You know, Michigan Department of Corrections is at the old Griffiths home, and they're all state employees. And it's nice to have them there for arraignments on felony, alleged probation violations and things like that. And we'll be able to use that agent for dual purposes, not only for administration of the drug court and violations, but we can also kind of piggyback regularly scheduled arraignments so we don't have to impose on the Department of Corrections down the road. Good stuff coming, folks. Good stuff coming. Did I answer your question, sir?
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Okay.
I have another question.
Yes,
Might
sir.
not even be related to this totally, but Judge Clarkson talked about parole officers and that. Are we staffed well enough with them right now, or are we low on them? And
You're talking about the Michigan Department of Corrections?
no, our
probation?
county ones.
Yeah,
We are low.
that's district court probation.
It's all district. It's not.
Yeah.
They're not. See, I'm not sure on how that is, but
We laid off, we had three, we laid off one, the budget crunch hit. We laid off another one to balance our budget. And I believe this year there is money there for us to replace one, and that the last one we laid off, which we intend to do in February.
so we're at 2 right now. And we really need.
We will
one.
Oh, we're at 1,
A secretary and a probation officer.
and we used to have 3.
We used to have 3.
Okay, so that's a
And so
staffing
you
level
need
that needs to be addressed. For sure.
You need a motion today to fill that slot.
Yes, to fill
Yeah.
the secretary.
Okay, do we need a we need a motion to do what you want to do, and then say that you're filling a slot that's no cost to the county at this time.
Well, on top of that, you should be aware that the grant funded person doesn't get seniority.
Right.
So when the grant's done, they're done. There's no obligation to the county to keep that person.
A motion is not required because it's funded through the grant.
Right.
I'm here,
Just for information.
Just let the commissioners know what is happening in circuit court. Yeah, and if we needed funds, I certainly would be here asking for motion of such. We've been fortunate thus far that we didn't have to impose. And circuit court probation agents are funded by the state. Just to follow up on what Judge Clark told us.
Okay, because this is where you're gonna make the motion, so I kind of wanted to.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I was aware we needed motions, but Matt was pretty wound up, and
I'm always wound up. But if there are any more questions about the drug court, I'll see you folks this spring, and hopefully I'm going to have some really good news that we've launched and then we are on our way. Chairman?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. This is awesome.
It's good. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we would authorize district court to hire probation officer per county policy. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're not
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm open to having a motion, please.
Yeah, got ahead of myself.
You have a
Need a
motion?
motion. For dis-
Let's do it.
I'll second it.
You have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Who made the motion?
Gary.
Gary?
It sounded like John, but it was Gary.
I'll make a motion. He's learning to be a ventriloquist.
Is the
Probation
motion
officer.
to refill the probation secretary position?
That was seconded by
Yes.
us.
I'm good.
If there's no further discussion, we'll move that ahead with a vote. All signify by saying aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries.
Thank you, judges.
Thank you all.
Judges, in case you didn't know, Commissioner Snyder, Commissioner Horvath, and Commissioner Holzhausen are on this committee, so the rest of us can't vote on it until tomorrow. to complete the whole.
So you gotta be nice for another 24 hours.
Okay, any other agenda items? Hearing none, we can move on to the second call of the public. Hearing none there. Thank you.